Uh, Now there are many complicated deals for Manchester United right now, both in and out. Um, do you think we are ready for next season?
I think if the season started now, then Manchester United might be in a bit of trouble. But I think they'll get another centre half before now in the opening game against Chelsea, and I suspect there will also be a realignment further forward because I expect players will leave, or a player. I would be surprised if Lukaku was still there by the start of the season, but also I think there'll be another midfield player coming in as well.
So many deals need to happen soon, right?
Well, they certainly need to happen within the next 3 weeks, otherwise they can't play. I suspect that deals are being worked on now, and it's a question of getting them over the line. It's not always easy. Negotiations can be quite protracted. We've seen that with Harry Maguire and the difficulties United have had of doing that deal. But even if Maguire doesn't sign, then I expect there will be another centre half, because I don't see United going into the new season without at least one more new signing.
How many percent do you think that United will get Harry Maguire for now?
I'd say probably 60-40. Leicester is saying that the deal's got to be done in good enough time for them to get a replacement, which is fair enough. But equally, I think that United have other people that they're looking at. So if they feel that the amount that they're being charged or the amount that they're being quoted for Maguire is too much, then they will move on to another target. It may not be done immediately, and it may not be done at all. But I certainly think there's work going on behind the scenes. But as I say, I suspect both parties will reach a point where they may say, we're not going to do this deal, but equally they may reach a point where they think we've got to get this over the line, because there's no point Leicester keeping an unhappy player, and there's no point Manchester United, as I've said, going into the season without an additional centre half.
Do you think Harry Maguire will be the last jigsaw for the defensive problem for Manchester United? Is it good enough? Because we have rumors with the other defenders as well. If we get Maguire,
I don't think there'll be another defender coming in this summer after Maguire. Whether it answers United's defensive problems, I'm not entirely sure. Victor Lindelof came through a little bit last season, but I'm not sure the backup's right. I'm not sure the left-back situation's sorted out. I think there are a lot of issues for Manchester United to resolve. Maguire would resolve one, which is bringing a leader into central defence. But on his own, he's not going to solve the problems that Manchester United have.
How about the Bruno Fernandes deal right now? Because Thai fans want to know that. They ask me every day.
I don't think it's as close as it would appear. Bruno Fernandes has been linked with a number of leading clubs. He's been linked with Tottenham, he's been linked with Manchester City, he's been linked with Manchester United, and I think it's more to do with the agent going around trying to drum up some business for his client rather than those clubs actively being interested in him. He's a player of quality, but I think there are other players of quality out there who are probably higher up on a list. That's not to say that he's not going to end up in the Premier League and he's not going to end up at Manchester United, but I think other options will be exhausted before anybody decides that they're going to make a play for Bruno Fernandes.
There are many rumors about our bid for Bruno Fernandes. Can I ask you quite frankly, have we ever made a bid for Bruno Fernandes?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
Okay. Solskjaer just said that he can give Paul Pogba the new challenge. If he stays, do you think he will be fully focused 100% for Manchester United next season?
Well, that's the big dilemma for United, because if they don't keep Pogba, then their midfield options look very, very sparse. So Pogba can't go and nobody come in. I don't think that would be possible. I think United still feel as though they can keep Paul Pogba, but if Paul Pogba really wants to go and he's lacking in motivation, then you wonder what the point is. But we'll see what happens with that. It will be interesting. I don't think you can entirely rule out that he will leave before the transfer window closes, but United think they can get him to stay.
Many expectations for Manchester United next season. Do you think Ole can survive?
I think he'll survive, providing it's not a disastrous season. And, I think if he's competing for the top four, Manchester United should still be finishing in the top four, but they are a long, long way behind. Certainly Manchester City and Liverpool, and I would say behind Tottenham as well. Tottenham don't have the same kind of squad depth as Manchester United, but I think in terms of quality within their squad, they're far in front of Manchester United at the moment.
Talk about talent of Manchester United player right now. Axel Tuanzebe, some like McTominay, like Garner or Greenwood. Which player do you think can go to the highest point?
Well, Greenwood will be an interesting one because he's caught the imagination over here. He scored a goal against Leeds. He's 17 years of age. He's local in the sense that he was not brought up that far away from Manchester United, even though he's a Yorkshireman, not a Lancastrian. So he's the one that is getting people very excited. I know Nicky Butt thinks very highly of Jimmy Garner, but he plays in a very similar position to the one that he played in. Gomez is a good player. I don't think he's on the same level as Greenwood. And then you've got Tahith Chong, who also could be a real force when he's finished growing, because he's big enough already. It will be interesting over time to see whether these players develop. But I think Greenwood is the one that everybody is really excited about. And for Solskjaer, as he did after the Leeds game, to say that it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility that Greenwood could play in the opening game of the season against Chelsea on the 11th of August, that kind of says quite a lot about the expectation that surrounds him. Because
Solskjaer just said that Greenwood will have more games this season.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it's like any other player. It's like every player virtually, you get an opportunity, you've got to take it. That's what Greenwood's got to do. I'm sure Solskjaer will give him an opportunity. It's whether he takes it. But as I say, there's a lot of excitement around it.
For 2 matches of pre-season for Manchester United, we can see that Marcus Rashford has more composure than last season. Do you think so?
I don't know if he's got more composure. He may benefit from having the confidence of his coach, because I think Solskjaer is willing to play him through the middle in a way that Jose Mourinho wasn't. He's got experience now, Rashford. He's played in 2 major championships with England. He's played Champions League. He's played Europa League. He's very young, but he's got a lot of experience. So now he's got to show that he can produce form on a more consistent basis, and he's got to score more goals, really, because I don't think for someone of his talent, his goal ratio has been that high. But he certainly has the ability, and I think this is a big season for Marcus Rashford.
Let's talk about the formation that suits Manchester United the most in the next season. Which one do you think?
I think Solskjaer's going to go with 4-2-3-1. 2 holders, 4 in defence, 3 attacking players and a striker. But I think he'll be very much geared towards pace. So I think you're going to look at someone like Rashford or Martial through the middle. You're going to look at probably Martial, Lingard, possibly Sanchez in a wider position, because I think they'll give them the attacking threat that he's looking for, and Pogba either in a number 10 role or a number 6 role. But I suggest that as a number 6, he's not defensively he's not great, so that will be interesting to see how that works. But that's what I see United doing, a 4-2-3-1 with pace.
Okay, Simon, last question.
Okay.
For Thai fans, you are the most reliable news reporter about Manchester United, and everyone need your confirmation about transfer news. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's I'm very proud of that. I mean, you work hard over a career for people to trust you. You can't always get it right. Nobody does, but it's nice that people think like that. That's very kind of you to say so.